What happens when the world's most serious action dad wanders into a slapstick universe with no guardrails? In The Naked Gun, 2025, Liam Neeson holsters the grim monologues and straps on a holster of dad jokes as LT. Frank Drebin Jr. A legacy chip off the old, gloriously clueless block. Directed by Akiva Schaffer and co-starring Pamela Anderson, this revival keeps the spirit of the originals. Deadpan delivery, disaster-level timing and crime fighting that's technically effective and morally confusing. We're breaking down the setup, the stakes, the suspects, and the signature gags, stopping well before the final punchline. No endings, no culprit reveal, no last-minute switcheroo. This is your spoiler-safe runway to the reboot, who Frank Jr. is, what kind of mess he inherits, who's assisting him, and how the movie updates the series, elastic reality where every ordinary object becomes a lawsuit waiting to happen. Meet Frank Drebin Jr. 00 11 20 00 17 00. Frank Jr. is the most dangerous combination known to law enforcement, brave, sincere, and catastrophically literal. Picture a man who can recite procedure in his sleep, and probably has during several raids. He's inherited his dad's confidence and his dad's perception, which is to say, the confidence survives every collision and the perception is mostly of the collisions. Neeson leans into granite-jawed seriousness, which makes every absurd situation twice as funny. When he says, "I've got this," the set designer grabs the fire extinguisher. Pamela Anderson's bait is the glamorous variable in a math problem Frank cannot solve. She's not a damsel, she's a catalyst, someone who can steer a room, a rumor, or a detective with a single look. Whether she's an ally, a complication, or a test of Frank's linear brain depends on the minute and the lighting. Their dynamic is the movie's comic metronome, his earnest stoicism versus her dance through chaos. Police Squad isn't just under pressure, it's under review, underfunded, and under the impression that everything's going fine. Then a public crime flips every switch in the city at once. A splashy operation with cameras rolling, suspects escaping, and Frank Jr. somehow both a hero and a hazard. The fallout points to a bigger scheme. Money moving through legitimate fronts, a community event that's definitely not about community, and a power broker who shakes hands like he's checking alibis. Frank doesn't work alone. He's paired with a long-suffering partner who speaks fluent Drebin, translating Frank's confident leaps into marginally safer baby steps. Over them looms a chief whose blood pressure has its own call sign. Around them buzz a unit of younger detectives who know the internet, fear HR, and treat Frank like a myth with paperwork. The effect is classic series DNA, a department trying to be competent while its star player breaks the laws of physics and employment. This isn't wink-wink parody, it's poker-faced mayhem. Doors open into wrong rooms. Microphones go live at the worst time. Props become booby-trap metaphors. The reboot updates the gag cadence, phone glitches, smart home disasters, and bodycam misadventures, but protects the core. Keep a straight face while the world falls over. Expect sight gag avalanches and verbal precision where one preposition can level a city block. Do not stand near Frank when he says on it. The joke isn't that Neeson is doing comedy. The joke is that he refuses to notice. He delivers lines like stage directions from a hostage negotiation, which lets the chaos take the laugh. The movie also weaponizes his action persona. When Frank Jr. gears up for a tactical entry, the tactic is optimism. By the time he's finished explaining the plan is filing for workers' comp. Early showpieces crank the absurdity. A public ceremony with moving parts that should never move, a sting that's too clever by half and then not clever at all, and a chase that treats urban furniture like a contact sport. One sequence turns a simple surveillance job into a dominoes demonstration sponsored by City Insurance. Another transforms a classy venue into a Rube Goldberg apology letter. We're not showing how any of these end, only that they begin with confidence and end with billable hours. You'll meet powerful people who smile like sponsors and talk like lawyers for fate. There's a corporate polite fixer, a muscular problem solver who mistakes volume for virtue, and a public figure who never met a camera they couldn't patronize. The trick is sorting which face is the mask. The reboot keeps motives simple and delivery complex. Greed wants a stage, cover-ups want a soundtrack. Frank Jr. provides both by accident. Misread signs, over-literal jargon, weaponized sincerity, an emotional confession that's interrupted by something that should never interrupt anything, plus a parade of background jokes, the kind you only notice on second watch, warnings hidden in signage, names that mean too much, and props that look like OSHA citations with handles. This is a legacy sequel, not a museum exhibit. You'll feel the DNA deadpan rhythm, did he just say that? Phrasing, and a hero who breaks things the budget can't replace. But the movie aims for modern momentum. The runtime's lean, the score swings between action pulse and brass polish grin, and the editing respects the laugh. It lets jokes breathe, then sprints to the next banana peel. Paramount releases the film as a fourth entry, with Schaffer at the helm and a cast that includes Paul Walter Hauser and Danny Huston among others. As Frank closes in, his successes create bigger problems. The suspects consolidate, the city calendar mysteriously rearranges itself, and one routine check kicks off an everything goes wrong ballet. The team has a plan B, plan C, and a rapidly improvised plan D for don't. Our preview stops where the final setup begins, just before the public event that could turn into a punchline or a catastrophe, depending on whether Frank remembers which pocket the evidence is in. If you want airtight mystery, you're here for the wrong thing. If you want a master class in keeping a straight face while the floor collapses, welcome home. The Naked Gun, 2025, honors the old tone without embalming it, anchored by Neeson's ironclad seriousness and Anderson's effortless mischief, plus a supporting bench that understands timing is the whole sport. That's your runway into the chaos. If you want the culprit, the final gag, or the post-punchline button, watch the movie. If you want more spoiler-safe recaps and classic-style chaos, subscribe, drop your favorite Drebin moment in the comments, and tell me which sight gag broke you. Until next time, keep your holsters empty and your alibis rehearsed, especially around doors marked push.